Boop. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, February the 21st, 2022. Today's daily Bible readings come to us from Psalm 38, Genesis 33, 1 through 17, and 1 Corinthians 11, 2 through 16. And I'm going to look at Genesis 33, 1 through 17, talk about strained relations between Jacob and Esau. If you've read Genesis before, you probably remember the history between Jacob and Esau. They were brothers, right? They, kind of had kind of chilly feelings towards each other, dating back to when Esau was coming out of the field and he was really, really hungry, and Jacob was cooking something, chili, I guess, and asked his brother for some of it, some of that red stuff there, and Jacob's like, yeah, okay, I'll give it to you, but you got to give me your birthright. And so, Esau was kind of not like, didn't really think a lot before he spoke, and so he was like, "Yo, fine, whatever. What good is it going to do me if I starve to death anyway?" So, and then later on, of course, Jacob actually kind of cheats Esau out of his birthright over, because their dad asks Esau for some, stew. He's like, "Hey, go cook me up one of those animals you hunt and like make that stew you make, and I'll, and then I'll bless you and everything." And it gets overheard, and next thing you know, Jacob's like dressing up in dead animal skins and fooling his dad, brother shenanigans, stuff like that. So lots of strained relations, so much that Jacob has to like flee in terror for his life because his brother is like righteously enraged. And he just runs off and gets away. Probably never really expected he'd see his brother again, but haha, joke's on him. This is the story we're at now, where he is returning to his land because, well, let's just put it this way. This, leaving on bad terms with people seems to be like a theme in Jacob's life. That's he has to, he runs off and ends up in like the land of his uncle, his territory, ends up, marrying both of his cousins. And there's this whole issue with that. And then he has to kind of leave once again, in a hurry and secretly. And so he's heading back to his own turf, and lo and behold, he realizes he's heading like smack dab into the arms of his brothers. So they end up having this meet and greet, and Jacob does some stuff that, he makes a point of like sending all this livestock and all these servants on ahead of him, like a good chunk of his wealth. And then he makes a point of like organizing his family, arraying his family in such a way that his brother Esau can see this large family, right? I'm not saying he hid behind his wives and children, but I don't know. I've always wondered about that myself. So Jacob, he makes this point of showing off his large family and all of his flocks to his brother, and interestingly enough, to his credit, when he finally does meet his brother, he actually treats him, with respect for once. He actually, bows down as he approaches, as he's bowing down to him, and he shows this deference to his older brother, like, which, granted, like older by like, a couple minutes, but kind of just shows this deference towards him. And then Esau actually returns the favor for once and greets him like a brother instead of an adversary, like hugs him, kisses him. I know you probably don't really kiss your brother that much. But, actually treats him like a brother. It was a thing back then. And so they greet each other like brothers instead of adversaries, which is a good thing. And he, Esau even goes through this thing of refusing the gifts that Jacob is trying to give him, until Jacob's like, no, really, really take them. And he's like, whoa, okay, I'll take all this livestock from you. I'll do you that favor. And so they kind of come to terms with each other. It's a family reunion. And to the point where they're getting, it's time to move on. And, Esau does that thing that, like, in the South here, we, people say when they're about to like part company, they always say, well, come to the house. And it's like, oh, I can't really, And so, Esau gives Jacob like, well, come to the house. He's like, let's travel along together. Let's just combine all our families and just travel together. And Jacob comes up with an excuse, and says, wow, all these, I can't move as fast as y'all can right now. So you go on ahead and we'll just follow after you. No sense in holding you up on your schedule. And then he kind of bids a tactical retreat. Once his brother is out of distance, he just kind of goes off another direction, goes a different way, because it's a family reunion. The relationship was restored, but perhaps the trust wasn't. And maybe Jacob was smart in doing that. I don't know, but it's interesting that the all the issues that they had before, while they were restored to one another and they have a different perspective on each other, there's still some baggage left in that relationship. Anyway, that's the DBR for today. Get out, enjoy the day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Boop.